Hi there, everybody. I'm Fred Thomas, and you are watching All Things Bike. And today we are speaking with Lindsay Hurd, the founder and owner of Maine Revolution Indoor Cycling and Fitness. Lindsay, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Anytime, anytime. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've set up a studio. Give us a sense of the journey.
Yeah, I guess it's been, I would say it's probably been about 15 years in the making, I guess.
Exactly.
So
all good things are, right?
I in my 20s did not know what I wanted to do. I heard you say you're an English major. I was an English major in college. Thought I was going to be a writer, go to journalism school, and then this crazy thing called life happens, and you go turn left and turn right. And so I kind of stumbled through a lot of different paths and careers, and then I got my master's in education. So I knew I loved the idea of teaching. I thought it'd be more in the classroom or to work with at-risk teens. And then fast forward, I was in nonprofit work, and when my second child was born, who's now 14, I said, I'm gonna take 1 year off just to be a mom and focus on that. And that turned into 7. And it was during that time that I really fell in love with not just fitness, but I got certified in teaching in spin. I had a running injury, so I got a spin bike at home, and I said, let's get certified and see where I can go with it. And then fast forward in 2014, I hadn't been on a bike outside. I mean, I grew up in New York City. I remember learning to ride in Central Park.
Yeah,
and
that was scary. Right?
And then I don't remember really being on a bike. But my boyfriend in 2014, he said, who was an avid road cyclist, he said, all right, you can't just stay on the stationary bike, you gotta get outside. And I thought I had all this fear of going outside and riding on the road. But from that first ride, I just fell in love with it. And that road cycling really changed my approach to teaching spin. And it made me just love it even that much more. And my approach to teaching became more of from a road perspective.
Yeah, well, and you talk a lot about empowerment and you know the result, the satisfaction of when you're done with a spin class. And you know you've channeled into something that's different from what you see on most spin class websites or gyms or whatnot. I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
I think in that time of my journey and falling in love with not just fitness, but cycling in particular, both indoor and outdoor, it became transformative for me as a person, and I feel as though I got over so many of my own insecurities, and it was about becoming strong. It wasn't just like working out to burn calories. It was about
to drop the competition.
It was about feeling empowered and strong to myself, and I realized every time I had a good ride or a good workout, I felt like I was the strongest version of myself, and And what I try to give to my spinners is to harness that and take that with them so that when they leave the studio, you can channel that with whatever you're doing, whether your job and your relationships with your kids. And I really think it should be about, so many people look at working out, because a lot of my cyclists, our spinners aren't cyclists, they look at it as a burden or a chore. And I really think that mindset of switching it to celebrating what you can do, whether in any sport, you know.
And that's important. If you can take the routine and the drudgery out of it, you're going to do it. And well, tell us about the facility first. Where is it, and describe it, and the bikes and the size.
So we are located at 169 Port Road, which is Lower Village, Kennebunk. So you have Kennebunk Port and Kennebunk, and we're sort of we're technically Kennebunk, but you're right by the bridge, over the bridge in sort of downtown, where you think of the tourists being near the beaches in the height of the summer. So we're about to go into that season. It's a new build. It's a building. The building itself isn't new. It's being newly renovated. Fred Forsley, who owns a lot of property in Maine, he owns the building, and he wants the building to be centered around fitness and wellness. So I'm upstairs. I'm the only tenant. There's some open spaces available upstairs. Downstairs, later this month is opening a health and wellness cafe called Live.
Oh, great.
So one thing we don't have locally, which I miss being up in Portland with, is green juices, raw juices, healthy smoothies, organic food. So it's going to be a really cool setting with that. And then they're also going to have sporting events or road rides, mountain bike rides.
A starting point for
just
cycling.
a hub for different, and also for talks. People come and talk about health and wellness and fitness.
And how many bikes, and what's the capacity?
My space isn't huge. It's boutique-y and small. It's I have 19 bikes, including the instructor bike. And there is open space, so I might try to expand in some of that room up there and take some more
Well,
over.
19 that's a good.
It's a
number
really
to
good
start with.
number. It's a
Yeah.
really good number because I don't want it to feel like a huge industrial
Right. Right. I mean,
gym. I want it to feel personable.
yeah. Describe that. I mean, because most people they think of the quote spin class. It's
Right.
going to be dark and the
Right.
lights and the smoke machine or whatever.
Right. And I do
This is
give
something
that I
different.
want to be different than, there are a lot of amazing spin studios, indoor cycling studios, but I give the caveat of, if you're coming looking
Yeah.
for SoulCycle or, which is, SoulCycle is phenomenal and they've created an amazing brand, but I always give that caveat that I'm not that.
It's a different product. I mean,
It's
that's
a very
totally
different product, and it's bigger, it's larger. It is, my room gets dark, but I don't do very heavy pulsing lights, and my approach is, as I mentioned before, is I don't do anything on when I'm instructing. I don't do anything on my spin bikes that I wouldn't do on my road bike.
Yeah,
so some
right.
people come in really intimidated, like, oh my gosh, I've got to do like hip hop moves, or we're going to do weights or push-ups on the handlebars, and
Yeah.
I sort of cringe when I hear that because I don't think it's
Yeah, well, that's.
there's a safety concern.
Yeah,
in
sure.
this
Yeah, I
too.
mean the stuff that you do,
Right.
hip hop moves on your bike that don't transfer well to
my
a road
mo-
bike.
My mom, who lives in Manhattan, and she said, "Oh my, she's thinking my daughter's a spin instructor. I'm going to try SoulCycle." So she did her first. She did her first class at SoulCycle. Was a 90-minute.
Oh, no.
And the poor woman couldn't move her shoulder for about 3 days afterwards. It was, I was
Well,
trying to keep up,
I know.
furiously going at it.
Mom, well, it would describe the classes. I mean,
Yep.
how long are they? And
We have our all
abilities?
level, our general class is called all level cycling, so it's open to anyone, whether it be Fred Thomas, who's an avid cyclist, or someone who hasn't worked out in a long time. They're an hour long, 55 minutes of real work and
Wow.
cool down. But the beauty is you can come and go as intensely as you want or as easily as you want. It's low impact. I have like any day, like you get on your bike, some days you're
Yeah.
feeling it, and
Some
other
days
days
you don't wanna do it, yeah,
some
or
days those
feel
legs feel
stale,
like
yeah.
like lead. So I always want to take that pressure off people, that you are not competing against anyone else. You have a computer in front of you. You can look at your data if you want and look at your watts and your RPMs if you want to put a towel over it and just get in, as some of my spinners say, I just want to get in my jam and my flow and,
Right.
get in your head and listen to the music. And 'cause we all have different things that motivate us or keep us.
Yeah.
Some people do have a little bit of competition maybe with,
Right,
but,
right.
but
Yeah,
I
I
want you to
understand.
come in, there's no judgment. It's what you want to do on that bike. And I just ask you, I ask a lot, and I ask you to push hard.
What about the music, though? Who chooses the music? 'Cause that's
So when I
important for a
teach,
lot of people.
I teach the majority of the classes. I have 2 other instructors, but each instructor designs their own class. And so the challenge and the joy is the music for me, because we all have different music tastes.
So what if I go? What are you going to put?
So
on?
it's a little bit of everything. So I have anything. I have some people who love hip hop. I love some people who love classic rock. I love some people who like a heavy Motley Crue.
Zeppelin, Led
right,
Zeppelin.
right. But we all have. So I have to. It's this fine dance of someone who.
Right. Yeah,
you
that's
know,
hard, yeah.
so I find remixes of older songs that if I have a class that's a little bit older.
Oh yeah. You can show your age pretty quickly that way. With,
I do. Like some people come in like, come on, let's do a disco, and we'll do theme classes. We'll do it like a ride through the decades. Start in the
Yep.
'60s, ends,
Yeah,
and or the '80s. And those are really popular.
Yeah, I mean, technology has made that part of the whole workout system a lot easier.
It's
Spotify.
really easy. Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music. It's so easy to.
But also just booking and
Booking.
scheduling. And talk about that, because for a lot of people, getting to the spin class is
Right.
half the challenge.
And I am not a technology person. If I get frustrated signing in, and I'm not a tech person, so I use something called Mind Body, which a lot of gyms, fitness facilities, spas use. It's really seamless and easy, and if I find it easy, I think
Right.
most people would.
Yeah.
It's you can sign up online really smoothly, and the really nice thing about Mind Body being located in a tourist town is that if you travel
Right.
and you're staying in a hotel or renting a house, you can punch in from a spa to fitness to yoga to bar, all different types of fitness, and they'll show you in a certain radius
Right.
what's located, and it pops up the schedule. You can book right there.
Right.
I try to make it easy that you can book online and pay when you come, or pay
Right.
online.
Right.
So it's been really seamless, and a lot
Oh,
of
that's
people are
great.
familiar with
and,
it. I
And,
think.
and the membership model or the model of payment is different from the traditional gym nowadays, I guess, right? So people
Right.
pay for...
Right. So I don't want you to feel like you have to get a membership.
Yeah.
You can do a single class drop-in. You can. Our most popular is you buy a 10 pass is our most popular punch card. You can do a 5 pass, 10
Right.
pass, 20
And
pass.
that has become standard now for spin classes?
They are. They are. If it is out of a gym, you pay your monthly gym membership, and then you tend to have to pay a little bit more to do individualized classes. But for me, I don't want people to, and I don't want them to feel like they're coming to a standardized
Yeah,
gym.
that's right. Yeah,
I really want it to feel
this
like,
is-
a home, sort of a home
Yeah.
away from home, and we really have sort of become a family. In
Yeah,
that
I mean,
regard.
zero in on that too, because Peloton is taking over the world
Right.
because people just want to wake up, do their
Jump
thing,
on the bike.
and join a virtual group of people and see their favorite
Right.
sort of celebrity instructor,
Right.
get it over with and carry on with the day. But even doing that, it's great apparently, but doing that all the time, sooner or later, your friends are just going to be
Yeah.
virtual.
Right,
So
and I think there's-
you're something different.
Yeah,
right?
and a lot of my spinners do have Pelotons, and I feel when they first say that, oh, I'm getting a Peloton, they still come back because again, I think it's nice having that quiet solitude, and you are having that interaction. But there's something to be said being in a group.
It's nice
and
to
that
talk to
vibe.
real people
Yeah,
sometimes,
and I
yeah.
encourage, our facility, we have, you can go down, the cafe's not open yet, but go downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
grab a smoothie, come out, back up. I've got yoga mats in a big hall, an open area, stretch. And I think I can honestly say in the past 3 years, where I've been teaching a lot in the past
Mm-hmm.
3 years, most of my closest and dearest friends are who I've met in that studio
Yeah.
and spinning, and we become sort of a tribe together. And I think there's something
Yeah.
to be said about that human
Sure, yeah,
interaction.
no, I mean, that any club, that's what clubs are for. They're social
Right.
organizations or any,
Right.
and not that you're a club, but, the bike club or the
Yeah.
exercise
Yeah.
group, it becomes your world. Well, tell us about your instructors. I mean, first of all, I'm very impressed that you actually do most of the instructions, because that's
well,
got to be difficult. But you've got help. Tell us
I'm a
about
little
it.
bit of a glutton for punishment. I do love it so much. I love it. So myself, and then I have a wonderful woman named Kalina who,
Okay.
and my other two, I have actually 3 instructors. One is just subbing. All of them are road riders, and I sort of deliberately, I think, sought out people who love cycling, both road and mountain. An amazing guy. I smile when I say his name because his name's Marcio, and he's from Brazil, and his energy is just contagious, and he has a paddleboarding company. He gives paddleboard tours, but there's no sport that he doesn't take on and just dives 100% in. And sort of my approach of like that empowerment is Marcio. He's funny. He lives life in a large way, and so he's doing some evening classes because I sort of go hard in the morning, and by 5 o'clock I don't want to be on the bike anymore.
It's tough in the evening. So then you've got other instructors who will take over some morning slots for you.
And there's one of the components of this building is downstairs. There's going to be a personal training / boot camp business. This woman Leslie Carroll, who runs a pretty popular, very popular in Kennebunkport beach boot camp. So when it's raining and bad weather, she'll move inside, and she's also a personal trainer.
Right.
She's also a spin instructor, so she's going to sub for me, and she's phenomenal, and she's a really, really good athlete as well.
Well, how do we become a volunteer? I mean, this is a theoretical question. How does one become a instructor? I mean, do you go around looking for them, or do you try and get a celebrity instructor every now and then?
I would, yeah. I mean, so I have a couple people who I know have connections of celebrities who come down to the Kennebunk in the summer. If I can get people who want to come in and do guest classes, yourself, you can come down and do a class. But to getting
thanks.
certified in spin isn't.
Oh, you have to be certified.
So
it helps. Yeah.
So I got certified in 2009, 2010. But it's not as challenging, with yoga training, you need your 200 hours.
Right.
I went down to Boston for, it was a day and a half, and pretty straightforward. But I always look for people who are coming to visit in the area, I maybe want to teach a class.
Yeah. Well, that'll happen because a lot of people turn up in southern Maine in the summer, both to hit the beach, but also they still want to ride their bikes, and maybe they can't go for a 4-hour bike ride out into the wilds. They just do a quick class.
Right.
Well, what are your daughters or your children think about this? I mean, do they?
Well, I think with your first question of what's the inspiration or what led to this is a lot of it is them. I think is. I want to show my kids that I can, I think the dream is always to be the captain of your own ship, and if ultimately maybe to drive the boat, and and to push past your fear of and not staying safe. To be safe, just to sit back and kind of not take that leap.
Take a risk.
And I think for them, I think I would rather them take a risk and fall flat on their face and try than stay safe. And part of being an educator in education is wanting people to be curious and keep pushing themselves and keep upping that ante. And so when this sort of became a maybe, at first I was like, oh no, I don't know. But then it was, I don't want to look 20 years from now back and say, what if? And
well, have they joined a class or?
So I did a teen class about a year ago, and my daughter and her friends came, and I'm going to start a teen class and have a seasonal teen class because I think it's really good cross training for other sports and athletes and whatever, and at low impact, and also just as teens, as I'm middle school to high school, it's a time of insecurity and I think coming together in a really positive setting.
No, that's great. That's a great idea. I mean, it sounds good. Well, any other events coming up that you want to talk about?
Well, so we are going to have. I don't have an exact date, but we are going to have a grand opening of the building.
Okay.
We're hoping the cafe downstairs is going to be open by Memorial Day,
But you're up and running.
We're up and running. So they were really lovely. We were supposed to be completely open on April 1st, and everything as construction goes, got pushed back. So they hustled to get me in. So I'm the only one up and running really in the building now. The building still looks from the outside.
Okay.
I've been trying to market it, but still, a lot of people still think we're under construction because the building really is.
So there's a grand opening on the horizon.
On the horizon, definite events. Leslie Carroll, who runs the boot camp, her husband Jack Fleming, is sort of the building manager, and his business is he produces sporting events, so mostly skiing events. But he's going to be running a lot of running races, road races. We want to do some, if club rides want to ride from we have a big parking lot, want to ride from the space.
That's great. It's a new resource for the cycling and fitness community. That's great stuff, Lindsay. Well, remind us again where it is.
Yeah, 169 Port Road, Lower Village, Kennebunk. It's
that's where it is, and
easy to get to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's important. We want to make sure that people know, and that you can that you're up and running. And anyone can sign up already right now, right?
Absolutely. We have classes 7 days a week, early morning, mid-morning, evening.
That's great. Oh my gosh.
And we welcome anyone who, and we also have I don't think I mentioned, we have a beginner class, so we every Saturday at 10.
Yeah.
And it's really fun seeing people who haven't been on a bike for a long time. Yeah. Just get almost like I try to harness being like a kid again. Remember what it was like to ride a kid? There's no pressure. You just get on your bike and pedal.
It's never too late either.
It's
I think
never
one
too
of our
late.
previous guests said, I haven't been on a bike since I was 14 years old, but I tell you, it's true. It's true. You never forget.
You don't forget.
That's great, Lindsay. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down and telling us about it. All right, everybody. That was Lindsay Hurd, the founder and owner of Maine Revolution Cycling and Fitness. That's all we got time for right now. Thanks so much for watching.
All Things Bike is brought to you by FitWorks, Rider First Bike Fitting, Rider Matched Bike Sales. Locations in Peabody, Massachusetts, Waitsville, Vermont, and Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. And Frame and Wheel, eBay selling services for cyclists, bike shops, bike companies, and cycling-related nonprofit organizations. Time, space, cash, pick 3. And AD Bikes, the modern face of Austro-Daimler cycling and the bike company of the future. Become Bike. Become AD Bike.